In Genoa City, secrets never stay buried for long, but some have been buried so deep, even the most cunning schemers have forgotten where they left them. That's about to change. A missing person from the past, someone fans haven't seen in years, is about to resurface, and their return threatens to dismantle everything Kane Ashby has built. For those who thought Kane had finally put his old scandals behind him, this twist will prove that history always has a way of clawing its way back. The calm before the storm. Kane's recent return to the business scene seemed like a redemption arc in motion. He'd patched things up somewhat with Lily, focused on family, and sworn off manipulation, or so he claimed. But even as he presented a polished new version of himself, whispers began to circulate around Chancellor Winters. Someone was digging into his past. Anonymous calls, cryptic emails, and a series of unsettling coincidences began to fray Kane's cool exterior. Jill was the first to notice his nerves. During a tense board meeting, she observed the familiar signs, the clenched jaw, the defensive tone, the evasive answers. If I didn't know better, she muttered to Billy afterward, I'd think Kane's hiding something again. And when Kane hides something, it never ends well. Billy agreed, but even he couldn't predict the magnitude of the secret about to unravel. A name from the shadows, Samantha Ashby. Enter the missing person. Samantha Ashby, Kane's sister, long presumed dead after a car accident in Australia years ago. Her death had been one of the central traumas of Kane's backstory, shaping his guilt, ambition, and occasional self-destruction. But according to newly surfaced documents, the accident might not have killed her at all. A private investigator working for Devon stumbled upon a foreign bank account linked to the Ashby family name. What raised eyebrows wasn't the money, it was the recent activity. A transfer was made just weeks ago. The name on the account? Samantha A. Parker, Samantha's married alias. Devon didn't immediately tell Kane. Instead, he told Lily, who was stunned but cautious. If this is true, she said, we're not just talking about family secrets. We're talking about lies that go back decades. What none of them realized was that Samantha wasn't just alive, she was on her way to Genoa City. The return no one saw coming. Her reappearance was quiet at first. A woman checked into the Grand Phoenix under an assumed name, blending into the crowd. But Abby, ever observant, noticed the accent, Australian, faint but unmistakable, and the woman's curious fixation on Chancellor Winters' financial section in the newspaper. Within days, word spread, a stranger was asking about Kane Ashby. Kane's world began to unravel when he received a single text message containing just 3 words, "You owe me." At first, he dismissed it as spam, until a photo followed. It showed Samantha, very much alive, standing in front of their childhood home in Queensland. The message underneath was clear, we need to talk, or I'll talk for us. The guilt that never died. When they finally came face to face, the moment was electric with betrayal and disbelief. Kane, visibly shaken, could barely speak. Samantha's eyes were colder than he remembered. You told everyone I was dead, she accused. You let me disappear so you could take everything, the inheritance, the name, the sympathy. It turned out Kane's origin story was far murkier than fans once thought. Samantha revealed that Kane hadn't just left Australia to escape a broken family, he'd covered up a crime that linked directly to her supposed death. The accident that killed her had involved corporate embezzlement, a forged will, and a scandal tied to their father's company. Kane, desperate to save himself, had forged her death certificate and assumed control of assets that never belonged to him. Now, Samantha wanted payback. Jill gets the shock of her life. Jill has weathered her share of family shocks, but Samantha's arrival blindsided her completely. When Samantha marched into Chancellor Winters with a folder full of documents and a vengeance-filled agenda, Jill immediately realized this wasn't about closure, it was about control. Samantha claimed legal rights to certain properties and offshore accounts under Chancellor Holdings, assets Kane had quietly rolled into Jill's company years ago. If her documents were legitimate, Chancellor Winters could be facing a lawsuit big enough to threaten its stability. Jill, always sharp, tried to negotiate. If you're here to settle a score, she said coolly, you'd better make sure you're not burning your own bridge in the process. But Samantha wasn't bluffing. I've been gone long enough, she replied. It's time everyone knows what Kane really did. Devon and Lily caught in the middle. Lily's heart broke for both siblings. She wanted to believe Kane's version, that Samantha was mistaken, manipulated, or exaggerating. But the evidence was overwhelming. Bank transfers, falsified death records, and corporate files all pointed to one conclusion: Kane had built part of his empire on a lie. Devon, meanwhile, saw an opportunity to protect the company. If Kane goes down, he told Lily privately, we can't let Chancellor Winters go down with him. Jill's going to have to choose, family or business. The revelation reignited old wounds between Lily and Kane. Every bit of trust they'd rebuilt disintegrated overnight. You don't just get to rewrite history when it suits you, she told him through tears. You made me believe you were a victim. But maybe you were the villain all along. Sharon's uneasy intuition. As always, Sharon found herself tangled in the emotional fallout. She had become something of a confidant to both Lily and Jill, offering calm where chaos ruled. But lately, her intuition told her something deeper was brewing. When Samantha paid Sharon a visit at Crimson Lights, the encounter was tense but revealing. You're the one they all trust, Samantha said with a smirk. Tell me, how do you decide who deserves redemption in this town? Because my brother sure doesn't. That question lingered with Sharon long after Samantha left. She began to dig quietly, uncovering that Samantha had her own secrets, including a mysterious benefactor funding her return. Someone with a vested interest in Kane's downfall. Enter the puppet master, Colin Atkinson. No young and restless twist is complete without a familiar devil pulling strings. Colin Atkinson, Kane and Samantha's father, was alive, well, and once again manipulating his children from the shadows. Colin had discovered Samantha's survival years ago and used her disappearance to his advantage. When she finally broke free from his control, she set her sights on Genoa City, but Colin wasn't done yet. He wanted Kane punished for turning against him, and Samantha was his perfect weapon. Kane, realizing his father was orchestrating yet another nightmare, tried to warn everyone. But his credibility was gone. Jill dismissed his pleas, Lily refused his calls, and even Billy told him, you've cried wolf one too many times. The undoing. Kane's undoing came not through violence or revenge, but exposure. Samantha released a video confession, a damning revelation recorded years earlier by their father, showing Kane's involvement in the cover-up that led to her disappearance. Within hours, the footage went viral across corporate circles and gossip feeds. The fallout was immediate. Jill suspended him indefinitely from Chancellor Winters. Lily cut off contact. Devon initiated a forensic audit. Even the press descended on the ranch, demanding answers. Kane retreated into isolation, haunted by ghosts both literal and emotional. Samantha, meanwhile, stood at his doorstep one night, torn between fury and regret. You could have told the truth, she said softly. You could have saved us both. His answer was barely a whisper. I thought I was. Redemption or ruin? Now, as Genoa City braces for another scandal to explode, everyone's asking the same question, is Kane beyond redemption, or could this be the catalyst for his greatest transformation yet? Rumors suggest that Jill, ever the strategist, may find a way to spin the chaos into opportunity. Family fights make headlines, she's been overheard saying. But comebacks make legends. Whether that's her way of protecting Kane or protecting her empire remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Samantha's next move is unclear. Some say she's planning to take over her father's old holdings and cement her own power base. Others whisper she's working with Tucker McCall, a partnership that could shake Chancellor Winters to its core. The missing piece. In a final twist, Sharon uncovers a letter written by Colin shortly before his last disappearance, one that could change everything once again. The letter hints that Samantha wasn't the only sibling Kane betrayed. There's talk of another hidden heir, someone who may still be out there, unaware of the family war brewing in Genoa City. If that rumor proves true, Kane's undoing might only be the beginning of a much larger reckoning, one that could pit the entire Ashby bloodline against itself. The takeaway: what started as a missing person mystery has exploded into a full-scale family implosion, dragging everyone from Jill to Devon into the crossfire. Kane, once the master of reinvention, now stands at the edge of ruin, unless he can find a way to expose the puppet master behind his sister's vengeance before it's too late. For fans of The Young and the Restless, it's a storyline packed with nostalgia, betrayal, and poetic justice. After all, in Genoa City, no secret stays buried, and no one ever truly disappears. Especially not someone with unfinished business.